Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Makakodash. Double honors to the elders of GMS from well. Peace and salutation to Legak, you in the four corners, pushing the truth and sincerity. Peace be unto you. Shalom. This lesson, I want to get into the woman. The woman. And basically, how basically this truth is not for women. It's not. Nope. It's not for women. As a woman, if you listening to this, just sit back and enjoy, or listen, or whatever. I don't care. I'm not beating around the bush, or trimming my ways to seek the approval of women. You know, it is what it is. I'm gonna start with Ezekiel 34 and 31. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I, your God, saith Yahweh Elohim. So it says, the flock of my pasture is men. Which one of the 12 disciples was a woman? Which woman was invited to, the Last Supper or Passover, and they was just sitting amongst the women, and they just all had their women around? Who was around? This truth is not for women. Now, what does that mean? This truth is not for women. Because aren't we supposed to teach all people and women, and raise our daughters to keep the laws? We're all under the covenant, right? Yeah, we're all under the covenant, whether realize it or not. Because women will be destroyed for what? Being wicked. And there will be women that's going to be saved. And why are they going to be saved? Because basically they're going to be, righteous, or Most High decides to have mercy on them. Well, really, yeah, they are going to be, righteous. But I'll say this: Most High is grading women on a scale, so the righteousness of a woman is different than the righteousness of a man. Because I'll say this too for you brothers who desire women or even have a woman. First of all, Isaiah 4:1, we're going to get women in that day. But in order to have some, because you sometimes get heat, you want to pop something. In order to have an active sexual life in this ministry, there's a level of wickedness you got to tolerate from women. Like, you really have to accept and understand and tolerate that she's a woman and that's what she's going to do, and she's not going to do anything other than what she's just did. Your woman is going to smoke weed. Your woman is going to do stuff like have a lesbian girlfriend that she lick coochies with every now and then or whatever. She's going to eat pork. She's going to eat bacon. She's going to celebrate Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, and be all into the festivities. She's going to, cook on the Sabbath. She's going to do all types of manner of wickedness, and she's going to say to herself that she's done no evil, even if she claims to believe in the Bible. Oh, I don't believe that. It's written by man, and man wrote the Bible. And it's always going to be man wrote the Bible when it comes down to things that a woman's supposed to do or you're supposed to do, because women want to be, feminist. Feminism resonates more with women than this Bible. This Bible, you ain't finding feminism in it. So women aren't going to gravitate to this Bible. And it's the sooner you accept this, your walk and your faith will be a lot easier. You can tell women to put on pants, and women's not, they're not going to listen. They're still going to do whatever the hell they want to do. They're gonna wear their blonde wigs and weaves and stuff like that. So brother, relax, relax. This it ain't for them anyways. I refer to Mark chapter 4, verse 9, where the disciples asked Yahweh Shai, why speakest to thou them in parables? He said, basically, for you is given to know the secrets of the kingdom of God. To all other people, it's not. It's supposed to be encoded into silence. It's not for them, it's for you. Now there's levels to that, because that's really for the elect. And so this word, yeah, is for men, but even that, it's not. It's for the elect men. To get even deeper, it's for the elect men to teach, you know, and mark Israel for either death or for the sword. This word, that's what it does. It marks them. You were told. So understanding, first and foremost, women, they're not going to gravitate to this. They're not going to follow it. They're not going to listen to it. Especially the prettier a woman is. The prettier a woman is, the more she ain't listening. She's more concerned about using her pretty privilege throughout life. And being pretty and all the evil that comes, enticing things that come along with it. She ain't thinking about that. She wanna, take her vape cartridge and smoke her hookah and watch Love and Basketball or Basketball Wives or whatever. I said Love and Basketball. Whatever TV show that's talking about the latest gossip. So this true fate for women. I'm gonna go over here and 1 Corinthians chapter 14. So let's say a woman wants to listen. All right, fine. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with, a woman walking by and she stops and she hears the word and she listens. Nothing wrong even about that. Still not for her. Because what did Yahweh Shai say to the Samaritan woman when she asked for the water? She said, go get your husband. Yep, go get your husband. Because this ain't for you. But this is 1 Corinthians 14, verse 34. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. That's a double cut. It goes to show that the law is not done away with. He's quoting the law. What law? The Old Testament law. But he said, let your women be silenced. Why would he have to say that? Because women can't keep their mouth shut. They like to open their mouth and ask this, question this. It's a whole bunch of questions, and they're questioning the authority of God, of the speaker that's teaching. So women, that's what they had to be doing in the Church of Corinthians. But if you just see today, that's the nature of women. We be outside teaching, and women will just walk by and blurt out a question. That's rude. Women should not be sitting there asking questions, talking, because one thing about this, a lot of questions that they ask is above their pay grade. And what I mean by that is that if you don't understand geometry 2, you shouldn't be asking questions about, or shall I say, if you don't understand arithmetic, basically adding and subtracting, you shouldn't be asking about geometry. Because we could be out here teaching meat, because there's milk and there's meat. We could be teaching the meat. You don't ask no questions. You don't even understand the basics of it. You just happen to walk by while we teaching the meat, and you asking about it, or you don't believe this, or you heard, your girlfriends, oh, what are those Hebrew Israelites? I know somebody that's a Hebrew Israelite. What they believe in? Girl, they believe in that the woman is under the man, and a man can have multiple wives, and they hate the white man, and they hate women, and that's all her perception is. So her whole perception about this truth is about what her girlfriend, who might be even an Eastern Star, is telling her and giving her all this taboo stuff. And by the time she gets to you, she's asking you basically questions that are inspired by gossip and lies that she heard about the Hebrew Israelites from other women. She saw a TikTok video and now she want to ask, "Oh, y'all believe white man is the devil?" You ain't got no business asking that dumb, stupid ass question when here's your salvation in front of you. You concerned about the white man and the devil. That should be the least of your concerns. Priorities all messed up. So a woman is supposed to keep silence in the churches. Let me read this again. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. Obedience to what? What are they supposed to be obedience to? The law, and to what? Their husbands. Oh, a lot of women don't like that. They believe that the woman is over the man. And some believe women are equal with men. And some of the people that say, some of the women that say women are equal with men, they really believe that women are superior. Women, we give birth. We do this. You know, we X, Y, Z, all female women empowerments and stuff like that. That's why you got these Bibles that are like special Bibles, like Women of the Bible. That, you know, it's like a breakdown, I guess, that's supposed to cater to women. Why are you caring about gender? If you go into the Bible and you were looking in it for women of the Bible, you lost already. You should be in there looking for your salvation, not about what women, you know, did amazing things so I can identify with these women. You read this thing for the wrong reasons. A woman is supposed to be in obedience, and women, especially the black woman, don't like to hear that. Oh, you say that? I remember I used to go to church with my auntie, of course, a black woman. When the preacher start preaching that, she literally just get up and just walk out. Literally, just get up and just walk out of the door. She didn't want to hear that. Oh, we fought too hard to leave the black power movement to join white women and feminism for you to come around and say that a woman is supposed to be obedient to a man. What if he ain't got no job? I'm not submitting to no man without no job. I'm not submitting to a man. A man got to show me, give me something to submit to. So she already neck rolling and rolling her eyes and stuff like that. Then don't get a man that a weak ass man then. That's simple as that. Why are you even dealing with a man then? Stupid. So a woman will get up, ask all kinds of stupid, idiotic questions like that. Let me keep reading. Verse 35, if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. For it is a shame for women to speak in the church. It's a shame. And women don't even have shame of getting up and saying something. And what does that say about that? Oh, it's Sirach. What's that, 26? I think. 1 second. Flip right to it. Sirach 26 and 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear Yahweh. What's a female dog? It's a bitch. Now, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. A woman that speaks, that's a shame. And for you to do that, understanding the Bible says don't do it, you have no shame. So you are counted as nothing, a dog. But then these women are sitting around here and say, oh, well, the other men, the other nations, they take care of their women, they do this, they do that, and all stuff like that. If you look at these other nations that they claim to basically fantasize and romanticize, like Ishmael, they have some order. Nowadays, not even as much, because you got some of these wild Ishmaelite women out of order too. They don't even follow their Islamic beliefs. But the woman sits in the front seat and the kids in the back. But when they get a certain age, the little boy, sometimes he'll sit in the front seat and the mom will sit in the back. Or if they have daughters and sons, the son will sit in the front seat, while the daughter, she can even be older. You have an older daughter, but that son, they'll put him in the front seat. He riding shotgun, and what that instills in this child is basically like, you the leader. You the head. He's putting the man over the woman, but and with more power comes more responsibilities. So you start understanding that, teaching that. So you teach them about that kid or that subliminally, and you are just teaching the daughter like, yo, you in the back seat. You don't come over. The son come first. Black families, I'm gonna say, for when I grew up, I grew up not with my little sister, but cousin, my female cousin. She got to sit in the front seat, while I had to sit in the back seat. She 10 years younger than me. I'm 16 years old, riding in the back seat to a 6-year-old. Type of shit is that? What does that do to a kid mentality? You know, it helps to groom you. So women, are looking forward, after women and like girl power and stuff like that. There is none of that. So a woman ain't supposed to get up to speak, ask questions, or put that question, certain questions of doubt in other women's ears and stuff like that to make those demons hop on them. No, they are not supposed to speak. Let them ask their husbands, because hey, well, as a man, why am I teaching another man's woman? That's wicked. Why am I teaching another man's woman? Oh, girl, you supposed to do such and such, and here's what you're supposed to do for your husband, and you're supposed to cook for your husband. You're supposed to do this for your husband. Like like that's his woman. And a woman supposed to go home. Well, my pastor said I gotta do this, or I'm supposed to do this, or you supposed to do that, and stuff like that. That it brings confusion. Who runs that house? That man. That man runs that house. So we ain't supposed to be teaching women outside of the basic stuff. Hey, you're an Israelite, keep the law, statutes, commandments. I'll be happy just with that. That's how low my expectations of women are. And to be honest, to be fair, some of you can get into heaven just by simply, and you confessing you're Israelite and being obedient to a Hebrew Israelite husband and not being a super demon and believing in basically in God and His Son. Because the bar is a lot lower. But are men saying, oh, that's sexist because a man has to do so much more to get salvation and a woman don't got to do as much? Nah, men ain't saying that, but women will accuse God of being sexist. That's the gender. There's only one gender that accuses God of being sexist. It's women. Woman is not supposed to talk. Now let me. There's a time. Now what is the church? The church is the body, the people. Let me go in Acts chapter. Here we go already. Acts chapter 7 and 48. Acts 7 and 48. But Solomon built him a house. Howbeit, means however, the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will ye build me, saith Yahweh? Or what is the place of my rest? See, God isn't inside of a building. God is within us. We are those blocks in those churches. So when we come together, we are stones of this house. That third temple is being built. So when 3 people come together, that's the temple right there. That's basically part of a church. So just a gathering, that's church. You gather with your family, you talking about, the Bible. You just created a church right there, that moment. Woman ain't supposed to be sitting there and correcting you and stuff like that. No. Because what happened in the Bible when Yahushua was preaching? Because when Yahushua was preaching, yeah, that was a church. Whether he was outside on the boat preaching or whether he was in the synagogue, that's still a church. So what happened? A woman interrupted him in the church. And what did she have to say when she interrupted him? This is Luke 11 and verse 27. And it came to pass, as he spake these things, a certain woman of the company lifted up her voice. So while she lifted up her voice, she wanted to be heard. And said unto him, Blessed is the womb that bare thee, and the paps which thou hast sucked. He stood up, she stood up, she said, Blessed be the woman. The womb, because men don't have wombs. She said, Blessed is that woman. And he said, look what he said. The next verse, verse 28. But he said, Yea, rather blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. Get your priorities messed up. That's the one who's blessed. Is his mom blessed? Yeah. He ain't about to use that to put his mom down. Like, hey, my mom, she wicked. She does such and such, X, Y, Z. Man, don't be sad. He said, get your priorities right. Blessed is those that hear the word and keep it. So that's the ones who are blessed. You hear the word, keep it. That woman that's standing up, is she keeping the word? No. So he really took a swipe at her too, also by saying that at the same time. This is Sirach 26 and verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of Yahweh, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. So a woman that keeps that silence and shuts the fuck up. There's in medieval times, and I'm sure even today in some countries, they had torturing devices. I think it's called the widow's tongue or something like that, the bridal's tongue or the bridal's chamber, where they will put like a cage over a woman's head and like something in her mouth for a woman that's out here just gossiping and lying and slandering and basic false accusations and stuff like that. Like she would basically be public, and they would shame her in front of the public, because a woman is not supposed to be doing that. This is real quick. I want to go to Ecclesiastes. Because yep, if you can guess where I'm going, there are no righteous women. There are none. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7. As soon as I flip there, Isaiah. Here we go. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse, I'll start at 25. I applied mine heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason of things, and to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets. Now, if you look up the word snare, snare is basically almost like the same thing as basically a net, But if you take the root word of that is hunt. If you take off the ma off that word in snares, it means hunt. So hunt, you're seeking something, and to trap it up. And a lot of women do that. They'll see a guy, oh, I'm going to get him, I'm going to finesse him with my looks and stuff like that. So she already got a game plan. She's hunting you. And then she already got the nets and she already got you, and then you try to leave and you can't. Maybe you got her pregnant or whatever, but that debt, you can't get out of it. I just did a video, I want to say last week, about the NB. Her name's Shira Sevick, teaching women advice how to extort men, how to basically emotionally blackmail men and stuff like that. And it's hard to escape a woman who's doing stuff like that to you. She's extorting you. She's emotionally blackmailing you. Look at Gorilla Hebrew. His woman basically came out and revealed that, yeah, he likes getting pegged and stuff like that. But I'm sure, like, stuff like that, a woman could use that as leverage over you. Well, I know that you like to get your butthole played with and stuff like that. What can the hell you say that if a woman knows your secrets like that and you doing some wicked shit like that? Because that shit is off. Let me specify that. And she might have a video of you doing that. You can't. You like trapped. You can't leave. You can't say. You gotta basically do what she says, or she might release it, or she might do something. Blackmail you. Those are like your traps and your snares. And you got women that do stuff like that and plot for leverage like that. But let me keep reading. It says, and I find more bitter the death whose Slacky. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets. So her heart comes with that. So you falling for it, right for her heart, and boom, gotcha. And her hands as bands, so binding you up. So she got you. She knows she got you. And that was her plan to begin with. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account. So diligently, Solomon is the most wisest person on earth. And listen to what he has to say. Which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. Wow. What is that saying? He says, but the sinner shall be taken. Verse 27 says, behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the count, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find out. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. So, what is this talking about? Looking for a righteous person. He was able to find one man out of 1,000. But when it came to a woman, he couldn't find not one of them. He couldn't find one. He could not find one. He wanted to know folly. He wanted to know madness. He wanted to understand all of it. He wanted to go down that rabbit hole. Let me find one righteous man. Let me find one righteous woman. He couldn't find out one righteous woman. Because there are none. You know why there's none? Because there's a saying, girls just want to have fun. Or now it's a saying, I'm literally just a girl. And what do girls want to do? Have fun. And how do you have fun? In order to have fun, you got to live according to what? The flesh. To have fun. That's what you got to do. And that's what women do. They live according to the flesh. They want to drink cut waters, smoke hookah, threesomes, gangbangs, and stuff like that. That's all living according to the flesh. Mushrooms, pills. So there are no righteous women. However, what you might find is a righteous man. You're not going to find a right, because first of all, if you're looking for a righteous man, All right. What standard of righteousness are you being measured by to even look? You're not going to find a righteous woman. So don't try to break your back to find one. What you might find a nurturing woman. Now, to today's standards in the world, they think that there's all type of women that's good. Oprah's, she's good, stuff like that. They're good. They donate, blood. They donate to charity. You know, uh, they took in a homeless person or whatever. Or so you might find a woman up. Those are attributes of woman being nurturing. But righteous, that comes back to if you do what this Bible says, following the laws of Moses. Is that woman that did all those things that's nurturing and stuff like that loves cats and stuff like this, and is an earth person and goes to church and went to college and is graduated top honors and saved a drowning dolphin. Is that same woman a lesbian? Oh, she not righteous then. She not. He would have been one of the ones that Solomon went through. Like, oh, nope, not her. Is she a woman that believes that maybe she ain't a lesbian, but she believes nothing's wrong with homosexuality and love who you love? Oh, not righteous. Off of that alone, not righteous. You not one of them. Because righteousness, again, is following laws and statutes and commandments. If you understand the laws and statutes and commandments, you understand this shit is wrong and wicked. You might find a woman that's virtuous. Virtuous and righteous aren't the same. What does virtue mean? You look up virtuous, and now virtuous is not necessarily gender specific, but when you see it, it's mostly talking about women. The virtue is basically like wealth or efficiency or might, basically like useful. That's basically like what virtuous means. Like a woman who, basically that you're pleased to dwell with, and she helps you out, and she's not all, oh, I bring nothing to the table, and you got to do X, Y, and Z for me, and I'm not doing this, I'm not cooking, I'm not doing X, Y, Z. A woman that's, understands the assignment, is actually trying to help you. That's a woman that's virtuous. Has nothing to do with righteousness. Because that same woman that's helping you could be eating a bacon double cheeseburger. But, however, she pleased to dwell with you and she does all these other things. She brings value. You know how they say, oh, what do you bring to the table? And they say, I am the table and I bring nothing. No, it's what do you bring to the table? If it's valuable, and that's, wealth or whatever, because wealth could come in the form of many things. She brings to you value, then she's a virtuous woman. Doesn't mean she's a righteous woman. It just means that you found a virtuous woman. This is real quick, Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Why is it saying her price? Her worth. Because price, you can't compare that woman's worth. It's not her righteousness. It's her worth. Who can find a virtuous woman? It says her price, meaning her value, is worth more. She's not going to be a virtuous woman. Is going to basically cook, clean, does meals, does chores, stuff like that. That's a woman that's virtuous. That's what makes a woman virtuous. Because that same woman that's doing all that could be have an idol, a shrine somewhere in the corner that you don't even know about. But she's doing all these other stuff. So her worth and her price is worth more than rubies. You know? But that's it. This just on my spirit early. And I was just thinking about this. And I said, man, as much as I'm thinking about this is a whole lesson I'm thinking about. And I'm meditating about. I need to put this on, wax. So, yeah. So I hope this lesson has been edifying. And on that note, I want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem Kakodash. Double honors to the elders, to GMS Ruel. Peace, salutations, and shalom.